Of his 45 in the second half as the Clippers pulled away and forced a Game 7 on their home court. I don't know if that's a good thing. Traditionally it is. Maybe not in this series. Who knows? Welcome in. It's Playoff Central live here with the Clippers winning Game 6. The Hall of Famer Isiah Thomas, Quentin Richardson right over there. I'm Matt Weiner. Clippers needed a win on the road. They get another win on the road and force a Game 7 and really dominated the fourth quarter.
Totally dominated the fourth quarter, and we saw Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the three of us were sitting here just like, going crazy, like some nights when we've seen Dame Lillard do his thing, or Steph or Kyrie. And these are the type of performances that you want and dream about in the playoffs. And Kawhi just had one of those magical nights tonight where he couldn't be stopped. He was doing everything, dribbling, shooting, defending. I mean, he was the best player out on the floor. We've been talking about Luka being the best player in the series, but tonight, Kawhi left no doubt who was the best player in this game tonight.
No question he was the best player on the floor tonight. And Q, he kind of answered the call that a lot of folks have had for him in this series to be a takeover guy.
Absolutely. I mean, tonight I think he was a guy that was a big Kobe fan. I think he showed every bit of what the Mamba mentality was about. And Kobe's looking down on him as proud as ever right now because he was – I've never seen Kawhi play like this. Literally, me and Zeke was talking about it as it was happening. I had never seen him, really going into his bag, handling the ball, doing step-back moves, and really taking it like, I'm taking these shots.
You said he was reaching deep in his bag like
what? Like Mark Jones said, he was deep in his bag like the fries at the bottom. That was, look, he was feeling it, and I love seeing it. I love to see him take over like that in that fashion and really, carry his team to a Game 7. That was big time.
Not only 45 points, but 45 points on just 25 shots. It was 5 of 9 from three-point range as well. And, it was striking to me, and you mentioned it too, Q, as we were watching the game. He would get a screen, perhaps, with Doncic in front of him and didn't want it. He wanted Doncic in front of him, and maybe that's partly because of the matchup. Maybe that's because it's Luka Doncic in front of them and he wanted to make a point.
I think it's something that T. Lue probably told him. Like, listen, he's wearing everybody out and getting the switch he wants. We need to start taking advantage of him. He's not the greatest defensive player, and he doesn't want to guard you guys. So let's put him in those same type situations and get him on a Paul George, on a Kawhi, who they feel has an offensive advantage, and let's see how he does.
Yeah, and when an offensive player gets it going, and you're a great offensive player too, and he starts going at you back, right? Your mindset has to shift. Now you become a defender all the time, and that takes away from your offense. And I think by Kawhi going at Luka tonight the way he did, it put Luka on the defensive side where he couldn't be as good and as aggressive offensively with the ball because he had to think, we always talk about two-way players, Q, right? And what's the mindset? You got to go from defense to offense. But when you just all offense, that's a hell of a luxury to have during the course of the game. And I thought they made Luka become a two-way player tonight, which kind of threw him off a little bit.
Absolutely. I think this was the best way to go at him because he's been unstoppable. And I think, like you said, forcing him to change those gears and think in the other direction, it's more natural for PG. It's more natural for Kawhi. Those are the type of players they are. For Luka, he's an offensive juggernaut. So to have him put on that hat and play after play after play, be pressed to play defense, I think that's why you saw him not driving as much down the stretch because it's tough. When you guard, that takes a lot of energy. You can't guard hard on the other end and then come down here and then be able to handle the ball and create and do everything that he does. So I think that made it a lot more difficult for him to be offensively all the way into his game, and he had to play defense on those guys the way he was asked.
And this wasn't one of Doncic's better offensive games, maybe his worst of this series. He got a couple of late, kind of basically garbage time buckets for Dallas and finished 11 of 24 from the field and just 2 of 9 from three-point range. They blitzed him a little bit early in the game, and then, as usual, threw a bunch of different defenders at it. How much of those shooting numbers I just mentioned had to do with what LA was up to?
I think it had a lot to do with it. We like to say in basketball, we use a terminology, you got to put them on their heels, right? Well, that comes from boxing. We borrowed that from boxing because, and when you were little and you were learning how to fight, they always talk to you. You can't fight going back.
Right.
You can't punch going backwards. So you always try to, push forward. And I thought they had Luka on his heels tonight going backwards and thinking about defense as opposed to thinking about offense. And that showed in the numbers tonight.
Flip side to that, Reggie Jackson spent a lot of time guarding Doncic and then punishing him, or whoever was guarding him on the other end, including 14 in the first quarter. He wound up with 25 on the night on just 15 shots. That's a huge bonus offense for LA.
No, Reggie was awesome tonight, especially in that first quarter. He had like 12, 14 points, and he really was the main driving force of keeping them in a competitive situation. But I wanted to take the time out to give a salute to T. Lue, because I feel like he did a great job coaching this game. He made some little adjustments here. Luke Kennard hadn't played much the whole series. He threw him out there and he played. He made some plays down the stretch, and he was a positive and not a negative. And I think the way that we're talking about that they attacked Luka and the way they went at him, I think that was a direct coaching thing, because it hadn't happened most of the series. And I think that was something that T. Lue kind of took. And I think that's from being a player. You know what I'm saying? From being a player, T. Lue knows that. He knows how offensive guys are when you're in that locker room. And T. Lue is one of those guys who was the other guy that probably had to defend the better players while his offensive guy didn't have to do that. So he, from being a player, I think you get those little tidbits and you can take those into battle. And I think it worked out for T. Lue tonight.
All right, speaking of Doncic, he's made his way to the microphone in Dallas before he gets on a plane for L.A.
Sorry if you can't hear me. We've got music blaring in the arena here. Kawhi Leonard obviously is the two-time Finals MVP. What can you say about his performance and his to close out a team that has him?
I mean, he destroyed us. That's what it is. He had a hell of a game. And that's what, he does. It was a hell of a game.
Okay. Tim Cato.
Tim Cato, The Athletic. What did you make of the pick and roll defense LA was throwing at you and we're double?
Tim, you're cutting in and out. Can you try again?
Yeah. What did you think of the pick and roll defense for playing against?
Sorry, Tim. We'll come back to you.
Can't hear you.
Eddie, go ahead.
Luka, what's the emotional state of this team now? Such a great atmosphere tonight, but really obviously a disappointing finish.
Well, that's all right. We're still motivated. There's one more game left. I don't think why we shouldn't believe in it. So there's one more game, so we all believe.
Okay. Mac?
Okay, you're going to a place where you've won 3 straight games and you feel chances, despite the fact we weren't able to win this one tonight.
It's game 7. It doesn't matter where you are. You got to left everything on the court. And that's it. It's game 7.
Okay. Raphael?
Hey, Luka, Raphael Haynes with the 3-point conversion. You just spoke about his game 7, no matter where you are. What do you say to your teammates after a game like this? It was close. It's been a long series. What do you say to your teammates after a game like this heading into a game 7?
I mean, we all believe. We all believe in game 7. We all believe we can win. We won 3. It's first to 4. So we all believe.
Okay. Tim Cato, did you want to try again?
Do you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. Luka, I was just going to ask about the pick and roll defense that the Clippers played with the more aggressive doubling and dropping, and how you can counter that better in game.
Read it better. If they double you, somebody's open, so we just got to read it better.
Okay. Last one, Mike Leslie.
Luka, Mike Leslie from WFAA. You guys were called for 21 fouls, 14 against LA. It seemed like that was a frustration for you and for the team as a whole throughout the night. Did that take you out of your game in any way, shape, or form? And how did you feel about the officiating?
I don't want to talk about officiating. Everybody saw the game, and that's it. We lost. Moving to the next game.
Thanks, Luka.
Thank you.
You don't fall for that bait, Luka Doncic. Nothing about the officiating. Reggie Jackson plus 13 to lead the Clippers tonight.
Walk through the emotions of the how tense the game felt on the floor and seeing Kawhi take over that second half the way he did. What was that like to be on the court with him and see that happen?
It was a hard-fought win. It was a complete team effort. Not every shot and good looks that we got went in. Still had some turnovers, things that we could shore up. But, we got the baddest man we're playing in the fourth. When he's out there doing what he does, being special for us. He's done it for us all year. Put the team on his back, especially in the fourth, and make sure that we get a good look every time. The confidence that he had in himself, he puts countless amount of work in. It's been a blessing to be around for a year and a half. So it's not by happenstance. The guy works tremendously hard, probably one of the hardest workers I've been around. So we're blessed to have him. We're really blessed to have him. Him taking on the challenge of guarding Luka for a majority of the game. Guys switching, they did everything they could to hold him up, and then doing what he did, like I said, to put us on his back in the fourth offensively. We needed every basket. We needed him to continue to draw attention, make the right plays, and he was amazing tonight. And I think it was just an amazing team effort for us, team win.
Thanks, Reggie.
Thanks. We'll go next to Law.
Reggie, before Kawhi got going, you got going. 14 points in that first quarter when Kawhi only had 3, and that was big considering the fact that Dallas, they still had a lead at the end of the first quarter. How did you come out ready and aggressive and effective like you did?
I just came out prepared, trying to be ready for anything. I have the trust of my teammates, my staff, the whole organization behind me. So it just allows me to go out there and play, free, play with confidence, trusting the work that I put in each and every day into this game, and just go out there and enjoy it. It's just fun having you back against the wall, coming out, playing with your teammates, doing something, your band of brothers, something that you worked tremendously hard all year for, and you get to this point, and like I said, having you back against the wall is fun. You find out who you are, come out and compete despite the result. We just wanted to bring the same energy again, and even more. It is a Game 7, unfortunately. We haven't won one yet at home in the playoffs, so we feel that we're due one. They feel confident in our building, so it's going to be a great game, and it's the best words in sports is Game 7. So looking forward to it. Haven't played one in a while, and just enjoying this moment. But we're all going to make sure to take care of our bodies and then take care of our minds and get ready for Sunday early game at 12:30.
Thanks. Next to Miriam.
Hey, Reggie. Congrats on the almost Game 7 win. Obviously, you're happy about this tonight, but what do you make of this series where the home team is winless? Like, how do you explain that? And also, how are you feeling? I know you got banged up a little bit.
I feel good. I trust in the staff. They're going to do a great job of, getting not only myself ready for Game 7, but the entire team. So I think we'll be ready. We're going to be as close to 100% as possible. We're going to make sure to take care of our bodies. What was the first part of the question again, Miriam?
Sorry, just what do you make of this series like this, where the home team has yet to win?
Two resilient teams. Honestly, I take it as two resilient teams, two teams who are fearless, not scared of anything. They're prepared all year. Really takes their games at home and on the road. So, two teams who are combative. What each other does. They're going to come out swinging, giving us their best punch, and we're going to come out ready to give them our best punch. So it's been fun. It's been tough not getting a home win, but we're playing a great team. I know they're young, up and coming, but they're showing that they're here, that they've arrived, and they're to be taken seriously. So we have to come out ready to compete in Game 7 and do all that we can to get this win at home. We owe it to not only ourselves but to our fans. So excited for Sunday, excited for the building to be electric, and excited to have this winner go home. Game 7 in front of us.
Thanks, Reggie. I'm going to squeeze in one more. Go ahead, Ramona.
Hey, Reg. Yeah, I'm just wondering, Ty Lue's been in these closeout games and these elimination games before. I'm wondering if he had a message to you guys, because you mentioned just a minute ago you guys were free and playing loose. I mean, one would think the opposite, right? Like, the pressure is on you here, but somehow you got into that headspace where you were free and loose.
Yeah, when you got a coach who's so calm, cool, and collected. Y'all been around T. Lue. I'm pretty sure Ramona, smooth.
Yeah.
Moves cools outside the pillow, smooth as peanut butter. So that guy is that guy's amazing. Just to be around him, his presence, he doesn't really allow us to get riled up. He allows us to just go out there and have confidence in everything that we do. That's one thing he definitely preaches to us, is just have confidence in the work, have confidence in each other, play the right way, and then we can trust that we feel like we're the better team and go out there and just leave it all on the court. So I'm pretty sure the team came with the mentality. It's not too much pressure. All you can do is win or lose. So we just want to play free. I mean, I know the consequences aren't stellar if we would have lost, but I think guys took that approach, and we just wanted to have as much fun with this game as possible. So go out there and play it to the utmost, give as much respect to the game as you can, and just go out there and have fun and play for one another. And it was fortunate enough to get us a Game 6 win and giving us a chance to close out the series at home on our home court.
Oh, thanks, Reg.
Thanks for your time, Reggie.
Thank you. Y'all
One of the great ones. Did you see anything in Kawhi's eyes? Did you say anything to Kawhi, or did he say anything to you going into this game that kind of gave you an inkling that this was going to come?
Kawhi saying something? Yeah, right. No, he was disappointed he didn't shoot the ball well in Game 5. So, we just want him to be aggressive attacking, doing what he does. And like I said, 5 for 9 from 3 tonight. Made some, huge ones, especially when they made a run. He made 2 big threes to kind of, secure the win for us. But to shoot 18 for 25 and have 45 points, that's pretty outstanding.
And did it seem like a Game 7? I mean, to us watching it, it looked and felt like a Game 7. And if it was, how do you guys duplicate that now for a real Game 7?
Well, I just think we got to shoot the ball better. Clean up a couple of our mistakes defensively. That's going to happen throughout the course of a game. But, we just got to shoot the ball. If we shoot the ball well, then, we're in great shape. We're in great shape anyway, but we got to just have one of those great shooting nights that we're used to and accustomed to, and we'll be fine.
Thanks. Next to Melissa.
Hey, Ty. Kawhi is obviously no stranger to Game 7s and huge games. How much is the team going to be leaning on his sort of even-keeledness and experience heading into this type of a situation?
A lot. I think with, him and PG and just being able to lean on those guys, especially early on in the game. That first quarter is going to be huge. And just getting off to a good start at home. And, they're going to lean on Kawhi a lot, because he's been through it. He understands what it takes. And so just his poise and his approach, we're going to be fine.
Thanks. Next to Ramona.
Hey, Ty, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
It seemed like in this game, Kawhi obviously took the defensive assignment on Luka a lot, more than he has in the past. How much does that take out of him, just defensively, to chase that guy around? And can you speak about just his effectiveness defending Luka in this game?
Well, it takes a lot, because Luka has the ball in his hands, like I said, 90% of the time. He's really the head of the snake. He gets everybody involved. He scores the basketball, and he puts a lot of pressure, on your defense. So, like I said, with Kawhi taking that challenge, playing 42 minutes a night, he didn't really seem tired. So we tried to get him out when we could and get him back. And like I said, it takes a lot of him just looking at it, but it looked like he was great, once the performance he had. So we got to get our rest tonight, try to recover as best as possible and get ready for Sunday at 12:30.
Just a quick follow. Did he ask for that assignment, or was that just something you guys all kind of got to that part and said, okay, it's got to be you?
We got to that, and he wanted it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Next to Andrew.
There were so many times when, throughout the series, not just tonight, when things could have teetered and gone the other way, and you guys could have packed it into the season. Can you speak to the evolution of this team over the last year? What you've seen that helped it come out of this thing alive for a Game 7?
Just being resilient all year. We had a lot of injuries all season. Guys have stepped up and played well for us. And we just, stuck through hard times. We stayed together as a team, never fragmented. And we just found ways to win when guys went down. And so you can kind of see this carrying over now, throughout the course of the playoffs, of just, being down and finding a way to come back and win games, even when we don't shoot the ball great, just finding ways to win. And we've done it 3 times on their home floor, which their crowd was amazing. We were able to fight through that. And now we got to go home and win a Game 7. But, just overall for the season, I just love the way our guys competed and fought all season long and being resilient. And it showed again in these last, 4 games.
Thanks. Next to Law.
Ty, you mentioned that Paul played the whole second half. You did match up Kawhi's minutes with Luka's, had him rest. You were facing a deficit enter in the fourth quarter. How would you assess the team being able to cut into that lead so that by the time Kawhi came back into the game, it was basically a tie game from there?
I thought PG was great. Hit a 3 and a 2 to kind of spark that run. I thought Zoo was huge. He had some great rebounds, offensive rebound as well. I just thought they was able to hold the fort down. So PG really carried that that team in the fourth quarter until Kawhi was able to get back, and they did together. Like I said, PG having 13 rebounds, crashing the boards. When we talked about boxing out, hitting these guys because they crash a lot. With Porzingis, he's 7'3", Boban 7'5", Cleaver's a big body. So Powell and Kyle Stein as well. So for PG to go in there and get 13 rebounds, just says a lot about him and the way he's competing.
Next, we'll go to Farba.
Hey, Coach Reggie had talked about how calm and collective you were and how it helped him stay calm. What's it like in a kind of do or die game and the offense just isn't working despite it being wide open and all these wide open shots are missing? How do you keep guys composed as the coach?
Just keep playing defense. I thought our defense really kept us in this game all night long. We did a great job on Luka. I think he got 6 or 8 points down the stretch when we were just trying to stay at home for threes. But, like I said, overall, our defense kept us in the game. And, we made timely shots. Kawhi made, some big threes down the stretch. And we had some wide open shots that we didn't make. But our defense was on point, all night long tonight. So that kept us in the game, and that's what you have to do. When you're not making shots, your defense has to be first. We've been preaching it all season long, and I thought our guys did that.
Next to Shane.
Hey Ty, offensively, was there more emphasis down the stretch to get Luka involved in that ball screen action to kind of maybe exhaust him a little bit down the stretch of the game?
Yes, sir. Want me to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, if you would.
No, I mean, he just has the ball in his hand so much. He controls the game. And we can see he was wearing down and getting tired. So, our last 6-minute package, we want to make sure we involve him to try to get the mismatch. And they were switching, so Kawhi was able to take advantage of it. PG was as well. And then they started to double team. So when he's tired and wore down, that's when we want to try to take advantage of the switching and make him defend as well to try to make his legs heavy coming down on the other end of the floor.
Thank you.
Thanks. Last question, Mason.
Hey, Coach. What went into the decision to put Luke Kennard out there for his first real minutes in the series?
Just some shot making and space the floor. I think open the floor up. If they're going to double team Kawhi and PG, then having another shooter on the floor. And I thought he came in, a big stop on Brunson defense, dove on the floor, first to the floor, got us out in transition. He had some open shots that he didn't make, but he drove one, got a little floater. So just having him on the floor, going into Game 7, he'll be more confident and he'll be ready to shoot the ball.
Thank you, Ty. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
Ty Lue there. Let's get you to Kristaps Porzingis, who, like the rest of his Mavericks teammates, will get on a plane and head to L.A. for Game 7 on Sunday.
On the defensive end, on the offensive end, what did you see in terms of some of your looks, and what's your mentality for this team going into Game 7 on Sunday?
Yeah, as you said, just trying to make an impact in the things that I can on the defensive end and helping the team in whatever way I can. The shots that I got were good looks, decent looks. Yeah, not it is what it is, and Sunday, yeah, it's gonna be a war. So we're gonna be prepared.
Tim McMahon.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. KP, obviously, you're being used more as a floor spacer than any kind of offensive focal point here. How much of a psychological challenge has this series been for you?
Yeah, it's obviously not easy, but I accepted that, that's what the team is asking me to do, and I'm willing to do whatever is necessary for us to go forward. And as soon as I accepted that, then it's not a psychological battle with myself anymore. I'm just out there and playing and doing the things that the team is asking me to do, and trying to do the best I can.
Brad.
Hey, KP, Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. You said Sunday's going to be a war and we're going to be prepared. What gives you the confidence that you guys will be prepared and can overcome, obviously, a really disappointing loss here, a chance to close them out at home?
Yeah, we've done it before already in these series, you know. We played, I don't know, they beat us by 20 plus or almost 30 points. That game 4, right, and we bounced back and we won game 5. So it's obviously not going to be, you know, it's not going to be easy, but that's, you know, that's where the fun is, and we're looking forward to the challenge, and they're feeling good, and we feel like we can beat them. So we'll see who's right and who's wrong.
Dwayne?
Wayne Price, Mavs.com. KP, what are some of the things in particular you guys got to do on Sunday in order to win that you didn't do tonight?
I'm not sure yet. I'll leave that to the coaches, to the coaching staff to figure out, you know, the adjustments we need to make.
Exhale through the mask. That was after that step back 3. That was a deep exhale through the mask.
Tim Hardaway Jr., 18 games so far. Kristaps
Wow.
Porzingis under 13 a game. Zeke, you mentioned it. That's a good point.
The question.
Hardaway kind of a
I like
throw-in in the Porzingis trade. At least that was the perception of it. Let's get to Tim Hardaway Jr.
Hey.
Have a great 105 through the fan. Tim, obviously a disappointing loss with an opportunity to close out. But what is the mentality now going back to a building where you've already won 3 games in this series, and what to look forward to on Sunday?
Just preparing the same. Make sure that we know what's at stake and make sure that we go out there and leave it all on the floor. That's all you can do right now at this point.
Tim McMahon?
Tim, do you look at this game and feel like you guys let one get away, or is this just a case of, you know, Kawhi came in and had a, you know, just maybe the most dominant playoff performance of his career?
I mean, Kawhi did a phenomenal job. You know, he stayed in attack mode, and I mean, he made 2 big threes. You know, hats off to that. You know, if he missed both of those, you know, the game could have gone either way. But you know, he's superstar for a reason. You know, he's been in these moments for so long, so it's nothing new to him. But I wouldn't say we let one get away. I think you know, the team that won today deserved it, and we just got to move forward and pick everything back up tomorrow and get ready for Game 7.
Eddie?
All right, let's get to the superstar he just mentioned, Kawhi Leonard. A huge night and a takeover moment that saved the Clippers season.
Appreciate it. You muted out.
Go ahead, Mark. In 3, 2, all right to the lock.
Kawhi, you mentioned in the post-game walk-off that the defensive mindset is what you prioritize more than the points. What was how did you have success guarding Luka and with all those minutes only having 1 foul for the entire game?
I mean, he still played a pretty good game. He had 29, 11, and 8. But, you know, like I said, you know, he's a very dominant player, very skilled. You know, plays at his own pace. So, you know, all I could do is try to stay in front of him as much as possible, contest his shots, and just try not to put him to the line. You know, he's good at getting to the free throw line as well. You know, obviously, you know, the players I'm playing with, you know, they're showing the crowd. They're switching on to him as well, and just a good team defense tonight.
Thanks. We'll try Mark again. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Kawhi, sorry about that. What things did you draw from your championship and playoff experiences that you think helped with your game tonight?
I mean, nothing really. It's just based on the mentality. You know, you don't want to go home. it's something that I had, young. Always wanting to win the game. To try to exert my will on the floor, and my teammates had the same mentality. So that's what I try to install within them, to make sure that we keep fighting, don't give up, and you never know what could happen. Just have faith, and play hard, have fun. That's all you could do.
Thanks. Next to Ohm.
And Kawhi, this looked and felt like a Game 7, and certainly by the way you played, it looked that way. I'm wondering, from your experience, what is Sunday going to be like, and what are you going to say to your teammates about playing in another Game 7?
Just a basketball game. We gotta, like I just said, if we don't want to go home, pay attention to details. Have faith. Shoot the ball like you're gonna make it with confidence, and if you do that, you can live with the results. Just want to make sure we don't have mistakes or, people being indecisive. Just go out there and leave it all on the floor.
Thank you. Next to Rachel.
Hey Kawhi, I know you've played in a Game 7 in an NBA Finals, so this Sunday won't be your biggest one, but what do you think of your past Game 7s? Which one has stuck with you the most, or sort of had the most impact on how you played going after that?
I mean, I don't live in the past. I don't think about stuff like that. It's about tomorrow. That's all it's about. Taking what I've seen from tonight's game and try to bring it into the next one. But I don't think like that. I'm living in the moment.
Is there anything in particular from tonight's game you want to take into Sunday?
Not yet. Just the urgency we had, pretty much. This was an elimination game for us, and just try to have that same mindset.
Thanks.
Thanks. One more. Tomer, go ahead.
I'm just curious. This is obviously your well, I don't know if you know, but this ties your playoff career high. I think regular season career high in scoring. You got up to a bit of a slow start, but at what point did you know this is kind of going to be your game? You're going to have to keep making those shots. At what point in the game did you realize it was going to be on you to sort of carry the offensive load there?
Just throughout the game, I just start. I'm just trusting my teammates, trusting in myself, and as the game went on, I got to some spots, made some shots. Teammates found me in spots, and just from there I just tried to go with the rhythm and staying locked in the mindset I had. Like I said, I didn't want to go home, and I just kept that momentum and I just had faith all night.
Ty noted that you noticed that Luka was sort of worn down and wanted you and PG to attack him all in the fourth quarter. Can you notice that out there? Do you want to attack him like that?
I want to attack everybody on the floor, no matter who's in front of me. You know what I mean? I'm not, whatever the matchup is. I can't have a indecisive mind out there. If I feel like I have an angle or they're giving me something, then I gotta attack it. So, that's on the coach to figure out the chess pieces. Like that. I mean, obviously, having a basketball IQ, you see things, and if guys got 2 fouls, 3 fouls, you want to attack them. But like I said, it's about having the same mentality throughout the whole 48 minutes.
Thanks, Kawhi.
Thank you, Kawhi.
Time for Total Motion presented by Michelin, and after a slow start, Kawhi got in motion, scored just 3 in the first quarter, 42. After that time, it all adds up to a career postseason high, 45 points. And Leonard was just the 5th player of the last 20 seasons to score 40 in the final 3 quarters of a playoff game. Let's get to Rick Carlisle, back to the drawing board for him in preparation for Sunday's Game 7.
Disappointing result. Very positive things throughout the game. The fourth quarter was tough. We had some missed opportunities, and Leonard just hit some really spectacular shots, and
And so we're headed for Game 7. And, it's going to be a great opportunity for our team. I don't know if any of the guys in our locker room, other than maybe Reddick, have been in a Game 7. We'll be excited, and we'll be ready.
Tim?
And Rick, you mentioned Kawhi's impact offensively, which was obvious. How much do you think he impacted the game defensively, and particularly the time that he spent defending Luka?
He's been a big factor defensively throughout the series. He's going to make it tougher on any individual player that he's on. He's going to make it tougher in any 2 or 3 man situation that he's involved with. And, the fact that he had the energy, offensively to hit those shots down the stretch, the majority of which were very difficult, is something to behold. We're going to have to do a better job. We're going to have to look at, our scheming of him. We've done everything in this series. We'll have to be ready with the kitchen sink in Game 7.
Kevin?
Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan. Rick, after getting that turnover with Reggie Jackson at the 7:17 mark and Tim Hardaway getting the and one there, what was kind of the thinking with some of the timeout that was called and some of the sequence before and after once that timeout was called at that juncture of the game?
Yeah, our automatic timeout was going to be coming within a few seconds. We had a couple guys that had been in that were getting very winded. The mandatories are 3.5 minutes. I thought it was a good time for us to regather. We had guys playing big minutes. The irony is, we came out of that timeout with a bad possession, and the Clippers called a timeout, in their front court, and they turned it over. And so it certainly, wasn't perfect. But you asked what the thinking was. That timeout was going to come likely on the next whistle anyway. And I felt it was a good chance for us to catch our breath there.
Rachel?
Hey Rick, do you feel that by the time you get to Game 7 in a series, there are more sort of big picture coaching moves to make, or at this point everyone's done their lineup changes and it's kind of put everyone out there and see what happens?
Yeah, in most cases, both teams have seen pretty much everything, but I'm not sure that that's going to be the case here. We've seen a little something different in each and every game, and we'll just have to wait and see. I just know that we'll be excited for this opportunity, one of the things about the way today's game is played, it's turned every guy on the court into a playmaker. These guys have all seen virtually every junk defense. They've seen every kind of matchup thing to try to manipulate into a difficult situation. And NBA players have evolved and done a good job of reading situations. So there are certainly different things that can happen, with lineups and rotations and, even strategic things. But we'll find out on Sunday.
Tim?
Is there anything in particular you learned from tonight's game that you'll take into Sunday? I know you've been in plenty of Game 7s, but with this team, every team's different.
We've got to, limit Kawhi Leonard's touches as best we can. That's one thing that's very obvious. And I've only looked at the fourth quarter so far. I'll look at the rest of the game. After this, and we'll have some decisions to make. We'll talk about those things and keep moving forward.
Okay, thanks. We're going to wrap it there, everybody. Good night. You're good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Tim Cato, go ahead.
Listen, I'll answer more questions. I don't know that we're going to have any access tomorrow because of the travel and all that kind of stuff. So get everything you need now. Go ahead. Who's
okay.
up?
Tim Cato, go ahead.
Tim Cato, The Athletic. Do you think you guys did a good enough job creating open looks after, on the pick and roll coverages where we go with double teams and traps?
I think we were like 5 out of 6 straight possessions where we got a pretty good look at an open three. And we just were unlucky. And Tim had one drive where he's right at the rim and the ball bounced out. And so, it's hard to get shots against these guys. They've got great defenders. They're mucking it up with switching and length. Look, you can always do better. I think it's always going to come down to, the better you can defend, the better your shots are going to be. And so we got to look at both sides of the ball. Obviously, we'd love to get, layups every time down, but, you get to this stage of a series, it's just unlikely that that's going to happen.
Mac Engel.
Oh, hey, Rick. Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star Telegram. Rick, because hardly anybody on your team has been in this situation before, did you sense at all that maybe your team was a little bit tight and got caught up in the moment there in the fourth quarter?
No, I didn't think we were tight. I like the way we stepped into shots. I like the way we, our sort of, spirit, of our effort and trying to help each other. There are just some correctable things that happen throughout the game that are correctable and controllable that we need to do a better job of. And, this turns into a game of inches. I mean, the little things in the first, second, and third quarter, they pile up and as you get into the fourth quarter. And so, we'll look at all that kind of all those kinds of things. But this is part of the growth process. Our team's been through a lot this year. And our guys are they're together. They're locked in together, and they're really fighting. And it's been great to be a part of this experience. And the last chapter of this series is on Sunday, and so we'll look forward to that.
Okay, Tim McMahon.
Tim McMahon, ESPN again. Rick, you've emphasized the value of Porzingis as a floor spacer. You've praised him a couple times this series for being patient. But when you look at a guy who's a 20-point per game scorer, throughout the season, he's got single-digit points in a couple straight games. Is it a concern, his lack of involvement, his lack of touches, his lack of shots? Do you need to try to get him going?
Well, this comes down to what's best, for our team. And I've had a lot of conversations with KP during this series. Going into Game 4, we had one strategy that was, completely different than what we had going into Game 5. He's been great accepting, what our strategy was as a team, locking into it, and being professional about it. What this always comes down to is, in the case of your question, is the term, your term, the quote unquote, getting him going. Does that manifest in the best things for the team with their lineup? The fact that they're putting a difficult defender on him and those kinds of things. And so, we'll look at it headed into Game 7. But I'll tell you this: I love the way he's playing. I would love to get him more open shots, and we'll look to do that in Game 7 for sure.
7 on Sunday. Historically, home teams have won about 77% of Game 7s, but that would fly in the face of what we've seen in this series so far. So throw all that out. Forget all of that. What do you expect, Q, on Sunday when they get together at 3:30 Eastern?
I expect a battle, an all-out battle, and I think if Kawhi can come out and do this again defensively and offensively, they'll be in a great position. I mean, obviously, like before the game, I said they need Paul, PG as well, and what they got from Reggie Jackson was tremendous. But if Kawhi can come out and, I mean, obviously not repeat the 45, but if he could still have a high-scoring game offensively and still do what he did defensively and try and limit Luka, they'll be in a prime position.
And, for Dallas, we saw Boban Marjanovic moved into the starting lineup to try take advantage of his size, take away a couple of options that the Clippers have been employing. What do you think is next in Rick Carlisle's menu of options?
I think he'll probably do what Ty Lue did in terms of just put your 5 best offensive players out there. We saw Ty Lue put, 5 good offensive players out there. They went small. Also, he came in with Kennard off the bench, and he just started playing his best offensive players. I think Carlisle would do the same thing in the Game 7. It's about, you really have to score the basketball, especially if you're the road team. You have to get off to a good start. You got to be able to sustain scoring because that home team is going to have some spurts and some bursts, and you have to be able to keep up.
Are we going to see a home win?
I don't know. You would think that you would see one time the home team.
I'm gonna sound like a homer. I'm a Clipper. I hope we get a Clipper win. I want to see him advance now. Come on now. Come on, Kawhi, PG.
That's fair. I like
handle that business. Handle that business.
We admit our biases.
I'm full disclosure.
That's a good thing. That's okay. That'll wrap up our post-game coverage. Clippers get the win tonight, 104-97. They'll do it again on Sunday with all the marbles on the line. Of course, we're here after each and every postseason game throughout the 2021 playoffs.